one of the things when you're thinking about residential care for seniors who experience dementia, there's one bottom line as you're looking at housing for them that would make anybody who is building residential units for seniors think about building them. Incidence, prevalence, and increase. That's what it's all about. There are 5.3 million people in the U.S. affected. It's doubled since 1980. It's going to double again by 2030. Those are huge increase statistics. Huge. It's going to triple by 2050. Now, it's the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S., but it's the 4th in Orange County. Any idea why it would be higher here? Come on, you're the 55 plus. We're an old county compared to the rest of the country. We're the oldest county, except for Florida, folks. They're older in Florida, go figure. 10.9 million unpaid caregivers, $1.72 billion in annual cost for dementia. Half the people aged 85 have AD. 1 person in 6 at age 65 have dementia. By the way, dementia is the umbrella term. Alzheimer's is the most common cause, but we don't particularly care what the dementia term is, right? It's a disabling neurological condition, but if it puts you in a space where you can't care for yourself, you still need a place to be cared for, right? Interesting thought. Research is saying that there's probably going to be a disease-modifying drug in the next 5 to 7 years. Some drug that will actually slow the progression of the disease more than what we have now. We don't have a whole lot right now that will help. If that happens, 1.6 million Americans will be saved from getting disease between now and 2020. I'm not going to go through the rest of it, but in addition to that, we will keep people in the disease space longer. So what does that mean? That means we're going to have people sick longer. Good heavens. People will need residential care, they'll need daycare, they'll need support, they'll need medical care longer. Our healthcare system is going to need to be in the space longer for all of the millions of people who have the disease. It's going to do a lot to our healthcare system. We're going to need to be in the space supporting these folks and these families far longer. Something to think about.
I had half a dozen banks that I had great long-time working relationships with that would come out, they'd get their appraisal, and the appraisal was like it was just an apartment house. And they go buy the rooms, they rent a room for $600 a month or whatever, you know, or $700 a month. So they put the dollar value based on an apartment house. But we don't build it for an apartment. We build it for a different factor, and the appraisers haven't learned how to adjust, because you've got to build these extra rooms to contain 66 employees who are there 24/7. And you have to size a restaurant for something like that. You don't put a restaurant in a 99-bed apartment house, but that's a very expensive part. We also did something that is a first. We put 100% coverage video, because these people have a tendency to wander day and night. You've got to put special locks on the doors so you can't get out without a 30-second wait. An alarm goes off so a caregiver can come up and see who's going in or out the door. The video cameras, that's $250,000 to put that in there. And there's no place in the appraisal for things like that. So the loan value on the building was less than the construction cost, let alone the land and all these other things. So we chose to do it without a loan, thinking that when we're done, we can have it up and operating. Well, the banks say, well, you got to have a year's operating before we give you a loan. And so it's based on a revenue income. So the loan package has got to be a totally different animal than I or any appraiser I've talked to can understand. And we are using this. We have an audited statement with all that we're doing, and we have our architect and architectural plans to show the appraisers what is going to be the right thing. And I hope that we're going to convert this to a test case so lenders will be able to look at the appraisal and realize what they have to do that makes it different. Yes, there is private investor money, but it's so expensive it takes all the profit out of the job. So otherwise you've got to raise your rent another 20%. So we've got to be careful how we think and design these things, and that's our goal. One of our goals is to make sure that when we're done, we can use this as a test case to help everybody that wants to build something like this. Well, for me to do it, I've hired several people in our facility who are experts in it. Mostly it is private money. There's all kinds of long-term care insurance people should be buying every day, or should be on a plan with somebody, because that gives you the resource. You can get a reverse mortgage. I saw somebody there shaking their head. Who is a reverse mortgage guy?
One of our newest members.
Because you have, most of these people have an equity in their homes. And if you don't use it, you lose it. You might as well use it up for your comfort and care, because that person earned that money and they should have it to live the best they can for the rest of their life. There are a number of government programs that take care of nurse calls, doctor calls when you're there, which are over and above. But you have a fixed price for your residents, covering most of the things you need. But there are certain things you need over and above it, and it's very complicated. And all I can say is I'm glad I have the skill to hire people who know how to do it.
Thank you.